Welcome to Have History Will Travel. I am your host, the Wilder Historian, and in this video I will explore the Battle of Olustee. The patrons over on Patreon voted for this battle to be animated. If you want to vote in the next poll, cruise on over to Patreon, the link is in the description below. Join and vote for the next animated battle map video. A little forewarning before we get into the battle, historians are still attempting to find out where exactly some of these units appeared on the battlefield. If I was unable to accurately locate a unit, I either left out, or if they were important to the battle, I gave them their brigade designation. To talk about the largest battle in Florida, we have to talk about Louisiana first. Large sections of Louisiana were taken over fairly early in the war, and it became the focus of Abraham Lincoln when he wanted to set up a loyal state government. This became part of his wartime reconstruction to make the process to bring the states back into the Union more streamlined. The occupation of Louisiana and the attempt to establish a loyal government met with difficulties and successes, but that state was not the only region Lincoln thought of as a good candidate for securing loyal territory. Florida's lack of military made the Sunshine State susceptible to a Union invasion and likely to submit to federal authority. Lincoln was right. Florida's military force was scattered throughout the state and all over the Confederacy. Additionally, Jacksonville was already occupied by federal troops by December of 1863, when Lincoln ordered General Gillmore to attack Florida. He dispatched General Truman Seymour from Hilton Head, South Carolina, and the division arrived at Jacksonville on February 7th with around 7,000 men. The Confederates discovered the landing and immediately began calling for reinforcements. Confederate Brigadier General John Finnegan commanded the District of East Florida, but only had about 1,200 men, and they were scattered all over the district. They started converging on Finnegan's headquarters at Lake City, and the commander sent out cavalry to monitor Union movements. Meanwhile, Finnegan asked General P.G.T. Beauregard for any available troops from Georgia and the District of Middle Florida. The response was rapid. Finnegan's combined force by February 19th was about 5,200 men, concentrated at Olustee, a sizable portion being Georgia troops. While the Southerners were massing, Federal troops expanded from Jacksonville. Gillmore sent 2 regiments of infantry and 1 regiment of mounted troops west towards Baldwin. About 7 miles outside of Jacksonville, they encountered about 350 Confederates, which they promptly dispersed. They kept moving and encountered more Southerners a few miles away, where they captured 4 artillery pieces. The advance guard pressed on to Baldwin and captured it. Then Gillmore sent the rest of the force, consisting of 5,500 men, on to Baldwin. Confederates gathered at Olustee under Finnegan began to entrench, awaiting a Union attack. General Gillmore on February 15th had returned to his headquarters at Hilton Head, leaving General Seymour in charge. Seymour was ordered to stay at Baldwin and take a defensive approach. However, he disobeyed orders and went on the attack. The reason for it is uncertain. Hawley's brigade moved in front, with Barton's brigade behind him and Montgomery's brigade behind them. At about 12:30 p.m. on February 20th, Union forces encountered a skirmish line made up of cavalry, the 64th Georgia, and 2 companies of the 32nd Georgia, whose role was to draw the Federals to the entrenchments of the main body. Hawley moved the 7th Connecticut, 7th New Hampshire, and 8th USCT into position. The 7th Connecticut made first contact, but gave way to heavy enemy fire. Seymour ordered his 16 pieces of artillery to form up and fire on the Confederate left flank. They would be aided by the 7th New Hampshire and 8th USCT. Confederate General Colquitt ordered the cavalry onto the wings to guard the Southerners' flank and got additional reinforcements. Union Brigadier General Barton's troops arrived on the field to confront the Confederate left flank. The Confederates' momentum forced back the 2 Federal regiments and captured 6 of the 16 artillery pieces. As the Union left flank collapsed, Montgomery's brigade of the 54th Massachusetts and the 1st North Carolina, both black regiments, extended the Federal line south with help from the reformed 7th Connecticut. It was about this time that the Confederate ammunition was becoming exhausted, and the 1st Florida Battalion, Bonnard's Battalion, and 27th Georgia maneuvered in front of their distressed comrades and held the enemy off until the other regiments could be resupplied. The 6th and 32nd Georgia moved on to the Union right flank and forced a general retreat, which ended the Battle of Olustee. This battle was interesting to research, especially because it ties into wartime reconstruction. Again, some of the aspects of the battle we do not know the exact layout. Some regiments I left out if I could not place them at all on the map, or just substituted their brigade designation to represent multiple regiments. As I do research and as more research comes out, I will update this animated battle map. I hope you enjoyed the video. Patreon members can vote on which part of the Battle of the Wilderness I will be animating next. It just costs $1 to join. Please support the channel by sharing the videos, and I'll see you next time.